Crochet Wearables, episode number 13. Number 12 was just a quick video of me hand winding the yarn that I am using in my next crochet wearable, which is the Oversized Sweater by Olga Poltava. But first, what I am wearing, it was not one of the wearables in the series of the Boujee crochet wearables that I am doing, but it is a great crochet wearable. It is a cardigan. It is long, or fairly long. It does cover my bum. And it is a cardigan that was designed by Grace at For the Frills. And it is the Willow cardigan. And you can find this particular pattern on the Make and Do Crew website. They featured her on their website and this particular pattern. I like it. It's a short sleeve. It is a great pattern for days like it is here in Middle Tennessee, where the mornings are cool. This morning it was down in the 40s, but the afternoon is getting up to the high 70s. And so I have it just over a short sleeve t-shirt just to give a little bit of added warmth. This yarn is a DK weight yarn, and it is 100% acrylic yarn. I don't remember the label because I've had it made for a while, but I know that in a past podcast, my regular podcast that I put out, I did mention it and show it as I progressed through the pattern. But I really like it because it is short sleeve, so it just gives that little bit of added warmth. Then in the house, if the house is cool, if I go into air conditioning, the mornings are cool just to throw something nice on and layer. And even as I go out, when the temperatures are in the mid to upper 70s, it does give just a little bit of warmth, because I do go from the car usually into an air-conditioned building, whether that's church, grocery shopping, or one of my local yarn stores. So I was watching a video by Elise at Elise Rose Crochet, and her latest video was like the 28 weird things crocheters do. And she was talking about, one of the things was that we like to wear our makes, our projects, our finished wearables out in public for the purpose of people noticing. I've never thought about it, and I guess I don't wear it thinking when I'm getting dressed, ooh, I'm going to wear this because I'm going out and I want people to notice. I think about, oh, I'm going to wear it because I love it and it looks good. But yet, when I get out in public, I think I do think things like that, oh, who's going to notice that this is crochet and that it's a wearable that I have made myself, and ask me about it or notice it. In fact, she mentioned that she gets her husband to comment on her wearables to make her feel good about it. And anyway, I just appreciate that I can share this with you because you, like me, love wearables and put a lot of our heart and soul into them and enjoy wearing it, but also enjoy when people notice and make comments. So I just appreciate that you all would want to know what I am wearing today. So let's move on to what I am making for my next Boujee crochet wearable project. Right, as I said, my last Boujee crochet wearable, I was winding up the yarn by hand. That is because I bought a yarn ball winder a few years ago, brought it back to South Africa, and it was awful. And I spent a decent amount of money on it. Yes, it was from a local big box yarn store, and I didn't really know much about yarn ball winders. Didn't investigate. I just was in the US over either a holiday or on our furlough, and so picked one up to take back, and it was awful. It kept, as I wound it, it kept like skipping, and so then when I took the yarn ball off as I was pulling, it would yarn barf everywhere, it would get snagged. I have yet to buy one and put an investment in. If you know of a good one that you have, that you really like and want to put in the comments below where you found it, the brand, whatever, I would love to know because I'm just a little leery of buying one right now and spending the money and it be awful again. But I know I definitely need one because it would make life a little bit easier as I knit socks and as I make wearables with especially fingering weight yarn that comes in hanks. So let me show you the yarn that I wound by hand, and I'm going to try to lift it up without messing up the project so far. So let me pull some yarn out so that I have some leeway to show you. This is the first yarn here, and this is from the company Perennial. It is by Kelborn Woolens. It is a fingering weight, 60% superwash merino, 25% alpaca, 15% nylon, 100 grams, 497 yards, 454 meters. So there's the tag or the ball band. And this colorway is called silver. So that's the first one. I am holding it double with this one, and this is a very fluffy, as you can see. It is a yarn by Queen City Yarn. So I bought this in North Carolina, and I think it says on there, yes, a coordination of color, hand dyed in Charlotte, North Carolina. So while I was in North Carolina, I bought it because I love buying yarn from local cities or states or countries where I am visiting. So this is fluffy because it is 70% Surrey alpaca and 25% silk. So I am holding them double together. This was a suggestion by the lady that runs Oak City Fibers, and I don't do mohair because just saying mohair makes me itch. But I've heard such great things about alpaca. Yes, there are people that it does cause like maybe irritation, but as far as because there's no lanolin, that it doesn't itch, and it is very soft. And I am making, as I mentioned earlier, the Oversized Sweater by Olga Poltava, which I'm hoping, because it is oversized, that it'll be loose enough and won't itch. So I have gotten a little bit done. I want to show you what the yarn looks like. And that's what it looks like, all crocheted together. As I hold it double, I feel like a lot of knitters, I'm holding it double. It is really not bad to crochet holding it double. I think I haven't done it yet, so you can correct me in the comments below, but I think knitting holding yarn double might be a little bit easier than crochet, just because you have to really hook both and pull both through and yarn over and pull it through again and again. And I think it might actually be a little more difficult to hold yarns double or triple than in knitting. Like I said, I've not done it in knitting yet, so I'm speaking from just watching YouTube channels and hearing knitting YouTubers talk often about how they hold their skeins, their yarn double. But it is a very, I don't know what you want to call it, holy fabric that it is making, very drapey, of course, because it calls for, and I am using a 6.5 millimeter hook. So the pattern calls for holding fingering weight double. And of course, this alpaca is a little bit thinner. You can maybe see that it is a little bit thinner than the fingering weight yarn, but it calls for holding fingering weight double and using, even for holding fingering weight double, a big hook. So the hook I'm using, I have a set. I love tulip crochet hooks. I use the pink one. I know there's red. I don't know if there's a difference or just they put them out in color, but I usually use that, but it goes up to a size 6 millimeter and I needed a 6.5 millimeter. Dug through my stash of hooks and I do have a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. It is a boy. I love boy hooks. I think that's why I like tulip, because they have more of the boy shaped head. And I hold my yarn or my hook with a pencil grip. And before I even knew the difference between Susan Bates and boy, I decided early on that this was my favorite type of head, and then realized, oh, there really is a difference. They are made that way for a reason, because some prefer one over the other. There you go. So this is a boy ergonomic hook. I love the fabric. It is making loose, airy, that's a good word for it, and drapey. So, yep. So getting started, this is the back panel of her design, and loving it. Yeah, loving it so far. And finding, I think I mentioned, or I was starting to mention, that I find that it is easy to hold the yarns double. And I think it is because the alpaca, being such a furry, feathery yarn, holds on to the fingering weight yarn, and I'm not having an issue with it. And so, and also being a fluffy yarn, it is forgiving. So making started and making progress, and look forward to updating you again next week and let you see the progress that I'm continuing to make. It is a very easy pattern, and as I have mentioned before, I've just gotten started, so if you would like to get the pattern, check out Olga's YouTube channel. It would be great to have you join me. And as I said, she actually, unless I really missed it, but I read the pattern over and over and out loud, and I did not find a gauge as such. And so I think holding fingering weight double gives you close to a DK weight, a 3 weight yarn. And so yeah, you can buy the basic DK weight, 3 weight yarn It doesn't have to be Boujee yarn to get a Boujee crochet wearable. And so anyway, would love for you to try out the pattern with me and give me your thoughts on it. All right, well, I have other great makes going on that you can check out in my past videos, my past podcast, the Flourish Creatively podcast, and we'll have one coming out this week that would love for you to check out. So thank you for joining me for this episode of Boujee Crochet Wearables. We'll see you in the Flourish Creatively podcast and next week as I update you on my progress of the Oversized Sweater by Olga Poltava. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye, y'all.